LF73 here, and the time has come. I just got back from the camping trip, and I got a video coming out so you will see everything step by step, because I know in this live stream everybody is going to want to know exactly what I did because they didn't watch a whole 3-hour live stream. So I'm going to be releasing a video that is literally step by step by step. And that's all it's going to be. It's not going to be a whole heap of talking. It's just going to be a step by step. So right now, you're live. And what I'm going to do right now is these are the clones that we did the chili dog method on the fig tree, the Chicago Hardy. And all of y'all was with me. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm about to cut those off right now and let you see. So we're going to do this live together. If you have any questions, I'll answer you in a minute. Thank you, Stro Boogie. If everybody can hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me and see me, give me 2 thumbs up. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me and see me, give me 2 thumbs up. I'm going to go ahead and get started. But I want to show you step by step, because what I'm doing here is putting the last installment in that video, and you're going to be part of it, okay? So I'm gonna get straight to business. Everybody wanted to see the results of my chili dog method. Yes, I did come up with this method. I know you're gonna see it all over YouTube, but everybody's been with me for years. No, I came up with that and I invented that. Made it easier for you to clone any tree. Any tree. There is no plastic cups. There is no weird, none of that. Okay? So making it easy for everybody to clone any fruit tree. So I'm gonna get right into it. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you exactly what the results were. Okay? Let me flip it around. Okay, here's the results. If you were in that live stream and you were with me and you saw us do this branch right here, prepare to be amazed. Okay? I've already opened it. I opened it before I even left for camp. I just didn't have time to do anything about it. I'm trying to give you a good angle so you can really see. You can see it from here. Okay. What you're looking at right now is the new root system that's growing from this gigantic tree limb coming off the side of this tree. You see that? All of that. This is our new root system just from doing my method. Simple. Now we're going to get down to business and show you exactly what do you do next. Because I know a lot of people say, Leah, what do you do next after you do this? After you get roots and results, what's the next move? I'm going to show you. Our next move is get a pot. It don't matter what it is. You know, if it's summertime, I would have put this straight in the ground, but I'm not. Winter is coming, so I'm gonna dump this straight into some buckets and let them sit over winter. And make sure y'all can see that. Okay, you can see that good. So I'm gonna dump a little bit on the bottom. I'm gonna show you why. Dump a little bit more on the bottom, just the bottom. Okay, a quarter of the way. And I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. Okay, we got our buckets ready. We got our stuff planted and everything. Now, this is the time if you wanted to use fertilizer, you can do that because we have a whole root structure now. This is not a cutting. This is a root structure. This is almost like buying a potted plant. So now if you wanted to add your organic fertilizer or compost, put that down in the bottom, stir it up. Now is the time to do that. Okay. Back over here, our next move, trying to get this camera right so I don't mess up, y'all. Because I want you to see everything. That's all right. We'll just zoom you in, okay? Okay. Our next move, y'all excuse my camera work. I'm just trying to make sure y'all see everything. Our next move is you're going to cut this off below the branch, below the bag, okay? I got my silky saw. That's what I'm gonna be using because I couldn't find nothing else. And I'm just gonna saw that off. And that's that. You literally have a whole tree right here. I'm gonna show you the results of that. Bring it down here so you can actually see exactly how big that new tree is compared to a 5-gallon bucket. You will pay almost $100 for that right there. Okay? So I'm gonna get right into it and show you exactly what I'm doing. Number one, I see it even produce more figs during this whole process of these few weeks. Get them off. They're not gonna produce anything. They're not gonna become anything. Get rid of those. Okay? Any figs that's on this, get them off. Now, I'm gonna show you our next step. I'm gonna bring our bucket over here and give you our next step. Our next step, we're gonna cut our zip ties off the bag and we're gonna put this all the way at the bottom of this pot. And I'm gonna show you why we do this. Go ahead and get them zip ties off. I'm not even trying to save them. You don't really gotta be gentle when you got this many roots. I'm gonna show y'all the whole root structure in a minute. Look at that. Do you see that? It's like frickin' spaghetti, right? Okay, so all we're gonna do is come out of this bag gently. No force needed, and this is why we call it the chili dog method, because that split right up the middle that we made is that's the bun. I'm gonna show you these beautiful roots. And when you do it right and you do it like I'm showing you here, you don't have to be gentle because the root structure is gonna be so strong that it's gonna hold onto the soil and the tree, just like that. You see that? No more bag. Bag is history. That is real. Just in case you wanna see it up close and personal. All right? Now, I'm gonna show you exactly what we're gonna do next. The reason why I want this to go all the way to the bottom, I'm gonna stand this up as straight as I possibly can. The tree itself, the root doesn't have to be straight, but I do want the tree itself to be fairly straight, okay? So I'm coming all the way over here. I'm not gonna loosen those roots or anything. I don't care about if the soil came all the way up to here, like if I had a 5-gallon bucket, because what that's gonna do, all of this is gonna start rooting as well. This is not a grafted tree, so I don't care about the graft line. There's no such thing in this method. So now all we're gonna do is fill that up with soil. Get it under there. No air pockets, just like that. And I'm gonna keep 1 inch below so the water can settle when it starts raining or you water your plant. So water has time to sit in there if it's kind of dried out. Just like that. Okay? Now I got somewhere to water it. So my next step is I'm gonna water this really hard until all the bubbles stop. Hang tight. So we just gonna water that in. That's gonna get those roots settled down in here. What I'm trying to do is make a mud bath is what I'm really trying to do. See that? I'm going to let that settle and let that water seep down to the bottom of that till the water is running out the bottom, and I'm going to hit it again. I want this thing saturated because I want this, wiggle that around. I want that to feel right at home. See those bubbles still coming out? That's oxygen that you do not want in the pot because the roots won't do well in oxygen. They need to be surrounded by the soil and the water so they can stretch out. Okay? Now, do y'all want to see the finished product? Wait, first, look, we got a couple little stowaways. Get those out of there, all of them. It won't hurt. As a matter of fact, if you take all the fruits off, it's going to help it. This is the result of that. You see how big that is? It's almost as tall as I am. I'm 5'9", 5'10"-ish. Hold on, let me do this, okay? This is how tall that is now, right? This is that. You're gonna pay almost $100, if not over $120 for what we just did for free. The sweet part is where I cut this tree off, where I cut that off, it's gonna grow back and it's gonna give me more fruit on that one branch next year. No problem. You could even call it pruning if you want to. It's that simple. We got one more that I'm gonna cut off. I'm not gonna touch any more because I did those on a later date. I did those like 2 weeks later after we did this one and this other one. When we did that live, I did 5 more, okay, maybe 2 weeks later. So I'm not even gonna look in those bags. So let's go ahead and cut off this other one, okay? We got our bag, our bucket ready of soil. We got to go into the jungle here. Hold on, I'm gonna get you in here because I want you to see everything. Okay, here's the second one that we did together. Now let's see the results of it. I've already seen them, like I said. Then I went to camp for a week, and I know it's even better. Yep, even better. For everybody who didn't hear, I'm going to be releasing a video step by step of exactly how we're cloning this tree. Okay, so right now we're going live so I can show you live my method work, so it's no trickery, nothing. So I got a bag full of roots here and it's ready to come off. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off right now. So I can get this big old saw in here. I don't got my loppers. I'm not even gonna worry about the bag. We got so many roots in here, we good. Boom, look at that. Bag full of roots all the way around. And now we got a cutting on the ground. Look how beautiful that is. Okay. So all we're gonna do now is get us another bucket. We got one prepared. Little soil in it already. We're gonna just snip this off. We want to snip the bag off, get those zip ties off. And the structure is so good, I'm not worried. I'm not trying to be gentle at all on the bag or anything. That's solid with roots. Okay, now all we're gonna do is just take that bag off. See how we wrapped it over the chili dog? So we don't have no worries. If you leave a little bit of the bag in this structure, don't worry about it. It'll grow around it and dissolve. Okay? So if you can't get the whole bag off, don't destroy the root system trying to get the bag off. It'll be okay. Sometimes you get lucky with it, sometimes you don't. But there you go. Perfect root structure from top to bottom, and even start growing roots up here. So this is what's going to start growing if you plant it too deep. No worries. This is not a grafted structure. Root system excellent, just like you got it from the nursery all the way around. We're going to do the exact same thing we did with our last tree. Is I'm going to try to keep this up as straight as possible. First, check for fruit. See that? Stowaways. Get rid of that, because that energy is going to go right back down into this root system and build it. Get that down in there, just like that, and fill that up with soil. Just like that. Don't pat the very center that's holding on to the new roots. You want to tuck around the edges, okay? You don't need that leaf. Just tuck around the edges, because we don't want to disturb that root system. We don't want them to break off from the actual tree. And all we're going to do, the same as the first, water that in real hard. It's okay even if your roots show a little bit. Your tree needs a little oxygen, but it can use a little oxygen, but just not all oxygen on the root system. I'm trying to make a mud pie there. That's exactly what I'm doing. Now in our other tree, you see the water drained out. I'm gonna hit it again. That water is channeling and starting to find its way out. Now let's get a look at our 2 trees that we just did together live. Y'all was with me live when we did it, and now you hear live with the results. Okay, we got a 3-foot tree and we got a 5-foot tree. How much would you pay for that, right? That's what this is all about. How much would you pay for that at any nursery? So as you see, I got several more that I'm working on now, and I'm just going to wait on those. And now that those are off, all the rest of the energy is going to funnel into these. Do I have any questions? Any questions at all? So let's see. 5-foot tree, you would pay at least $50. You're gonna pay more than that for a good tree, especially online. You're very welcome, Milo. The big one would probably be $200. Damn close, yes. Do you seal where you took the? No, nope. Don't go doing. The tree is built. Imagine this: when a branch breaks off a tree, right? Who seals it? Nobody. If a branch breaks way up high, top of the tree, who seals that? Nobody. Remember, I just got through telling y'all, the trees are just like you and me. Your tree can heal itself if it's healthy. So make sure you feed it proper nutrients so it can heal itself. Just like you, if you are eating good and putting good food in your body, it's easier for your body to heal. The tree is exactly like that. Don't go putting a whole bunch of nonsense on there. What is the best time of year to do it? To do what? The whole thing? I would start early spring. You could do it late summer, all the way to late summer. After that, the juice in the tree the sap in the tree is not flowing and slowing down, and it's harder for it to make roots and everything else. So I would stop late summer. Some people have done it over winter. I've done it over winter, but just don't do that. If you want 100% guarantee from anywhere from last frost to late summer, any fruit tree, just about, yes, any fruit tree. I've done them all. I've done apples, pears, plums, peaches, lemons, limes, grapefruit, figs, loquat. I've done just about everything. Persimmon. Let's see. You will be doing an avocado later this week. Are you anywhere like in California, or are you in Miami? I mean, you're in mid Florida to southern Florida. If you are not in certain parts of California or central Florida to southern Florida, I wouldn't do anything this year. I will wait till spring. You want 100% success rate, please just be patient and wait. My step-by-step is probably gonna come out today, depending on what this video does. If this video does well, I'll put it out tomorrow, okay? Looking for questions? Anybody have any questions? If not, I'm gonna just jet on out of here. Can you chili dog a blueberry tree right now? Number one, I wouldn't do anything right now. Nothing. Across the United States, I wouldn't touch it unless you're in central to southern Florida and certain parts of California. I would not do this because the sap in all the trees are stopped. They're stopped running. They're done running. So you need that sap to build that root system. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go and look at the anatomy of a tree and how the cambium layer, it's like an elevator system for its fluids. It's like your intestines, right? So right now it's on chill mode. So don't do it. You're gonna fail. I ain't gonna say you're gonna fail. Your probabilities of failing are higher, much higher right now. Don't do anything right now. Okay? Let me see. You got a Jujo, I don't know what that, oh, jujube cutting. Is it best to put it in dirt? I don't know. I really don't. Because I don't know, again, I can answer things, but I'm not going to answer things without seeing it, because you will fail like that. I don't know. I need to see it. It's certain aspects of it that would work and certain aspects that won't. Okay, so you won't get that on this channel. You won't get it. I won't just steer you any old kind of way for you to fail. Let me see. What's the best size to put them in? What's the best size to put what in? I don't understand your question, Devonta. Okay. After the new tree gets cut off, does it need to go in a pot for a specific amount of time? No. The only reason I'm putting these in a pot is because winter is about to hit. Okay? Number one, they're not even staying here. I'm taking them to one of my properties. They're not even staying here at this house. So I'm putting them in a container to take them to Freedom Acres. But the other reason is winter is coming, and I need these to be 100%. And I know over winter, that root system is going to grow 100% in this container with this soil, this compost. I know it will. In the ground, here's the problem you got. With a situation like this, yes, you can put them directly in the ground. The problem you may run into is other creatures are getting ready for winter as well. And you know what little insects love to eat? Fresh, tender roots. So I don't want a mole, a vole, beetles, or anything to eat that brand new tender. You see how white those roots were? Insects love those. I don't want no problems like that. So to guarantee your success in the winter, I suggest you just go ahead, put them in a container. I just had some old buckets in the back. I just threw them in. It doesn't have to be in anything specific. If you want to go get a 5-gallon bucket, drill a hole in it, put in a 5-gallon bucket, whatever. You can put it in a boot if you want to, literally. But I prefer to put these in this container because of this situation. Now, I'm going to try to give you a little backdrop of those, okay? That'll help a little bit. Now, here's the thing with this, all right? Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Now, here's one thing that you want to pay attention to, okay? All right. What's going to happen is the leaves are going to fall off, especially on a fig tree. When you do this with a fig tree, see how those leaves look right now? They are going to fall off. They're going to turn brown, curl up, get crunchy, and fall off. Don't even think twice about that. You're good, okay? Will you mulch the tree in the pots? No, I'm going to leave it just like this. You don't need to do all that nonsense inside of a container when you do this. All of that's just nonsense. Just how you see what I just did, they're going to look just like that next spring, okay? And I'm going to show you me plant them on my land. I'm not going to show you the land, but I'm going to show you me plant them just like that. And then you saw what the root structure looked like right there, right? Watch what the root structure looks like in the spring as it overwinters in that pot. It's going to fill, those roots are going to fill these 2 containers up. I guarantee it. I've done this a million times, I know. Yeah, missed one. Make sure you get all the fruit. Okay? Any questions? It's that easy. It's literally that easy. So what I plan on doing now is I got another branch that I got to cut off, and then I'm going to just move on. Go put it in another pot, and that's it. I'm going to set them right probably in the back in the tropical garden. You don't have to bring these in the house, nothing. If you live in the South, they don't need to be in the house. Leave them outdoors so they can get wet, a little cold, a little chill hours. But if you go up there in the snow, yeah, you want to bring that in the house. Any questions? Because it's that simple. How you doing, Terry? What is the size of the container you use? I have no idea. The size of the container you use ain't even gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter at all. Like I said, you can put it in a gigantic container, or you can put it in a little small 1 gallon or whatever you gonna use. That doesn't matter. That has no emphasis on what this tree is gonna do at all. The bigger the container, the better. If you plan on leaving it in a container, the bigger container you put a fig tree in during this method, the better. If you plan on putting it in a container and transferring it somewhere else in your yard or somewhere else on another piece of property, it doesn't even matter, because all your container is a taxi cab to get it from point A to point B. That doesn't even matter. After the new tree doesn't need a specific amount of time before you put it ground. Oh, I explained that already. Okay, any other questions? How you doing, New Orleans gardeners? Good to see you. Good to see you. Can you leave fruit trees in a container permanently? No, don't do that. Certain trees you can, like blueberries, um, figs you can, but then you got to start doing stuff like root pruning. If you leave certain fruit trees can, and actually certain fruit trees actually love containers like citrus, you can, but you after a while you have to do a thing called root pruning because it's going to get root bound in the container. I don't care how big a container you put it in, it's going to get root bound. And what it does is all those roots literally consumes the soil that you had it in. So now all you're going to have is a container at whatever size you put it in, full of roots, no nutrients, no soil. So every time you water it, the water is going to go straight to the ground. That tree is not going to be able to uptake any nutrients or any water at all. So what you're going to have to do is cut that root system down, replace and put more soil in the container, and then turn around and then start feeding it again, because what that's going to do is give that something. You're basically giving it a soup kitchen, giving it somewhere to go so it can eat. If you don't do that, the water literally is just going to run through those roots, and your leaves going to perk up for a minute, and then they're going to just die back down because the water did not sit in there long enough and be absorbed like in the soil long enough for the roots to uptake any water nor nutrients. Because it's not like us. They don't drink like us. They don't drink that the nutrients as fast as we do. It's a slow process. So if you just hurry up and rush in a couple gallons of water in your container, it's gonna run right past it. Okay? It's gonna wet its whistle and keep on going. Your tree gonna end up dying like that. So yes, certain ones you can. Apples, no. Pears, no. Any kind of nut like pecans and stuff, no. Just don't put things like that in a container for long. You leave them in a container, I would say a year tops. I wouldn't even really want to, tops. After that, they gotta go in the ground, certain trees do. Because these trees get huge. They're not, what's that thing where people call it, not origami, what is it called? Where they make the little trees, little Asian technique, bonsai. No, you ain't gonna, unless you into bonsai, it's possible, but boy, you see how much work it take to do bonsai? I don't think that's your mission. I'm almost positive. Yeah, bonsai. I don't think that's anybody's mission at all. Any questions? Say, Leg, can you do that to an Orient pear tree? Yes, I've done it. I've done my Orient pear tree and all the pear trees a billion times over on my channel, and it's in my playlist of air layering and grafting. Any questions? Let me see. No more? Okay, we at the 30-minute mark, so I guess I'm gonna just go ahead and get off here, and I might upload that other video later so you literally see. I said every fruit tree, even a lemon. I literally have about 30 videos of me doing this exact same thing with lemons, limes, grapefruits, and oranges, all citrus. Yes, you could do this with those too. So if you have a friend with a big old lemon tree and they don't mind you getting a cutting or something like that, or putting a chili dog on their tree, you can do this and say, listen, I'm gonna leave this foil on here for a minute and I'll be back in about anywhere from 30 to 60 days, and boom, no harm, no foul. You doing each other a solid. Will it cross-pollinate the parent tree? I don't understand what your question is. Will it cross-pollinate with the parent tree? Before, I'm not going to answer that, because I'm going to answer that with this statement. This tree is just like you. Our trees are just like the human makeup. That will answer that question for you. I always try to get people to understand how much like human beings that trees are, and that will answer a lot of questions for you. You understand what I'm saying? Can persimmon be grown in a pot? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Long tap root, and they're very sensitive. As a matter of fact, you will look at a persimmon tree and the roots are jet black. They are not white, they are not brown, they are jet black. So they are really sensitive. You don't want to go doing stuff like that. Put a persimmon tree in the ground immediately as soon as you purchase it. Let me see. I don't know nothing about Dr. Sebi, okay? I know a lot of people keep hearing him and listening to him. I don't know anything about his teachings or anything, so I'm not even going to judge what that gentleman said. So do I have to wait till spring to do a chili dog on my blueberry? Um, you don't have to do that to a blueberry at all. You can literally just take a shovel and jam it down in the root ball of a blueberry bush and separate it. It will come out with its own roots. Don't do this on a blueberry. It's almost, number one, it's almost impossible. Number two, is ridiculous. Now, if you got a blueberry and the stems on that blueberry bush been there for about 50 years and each branch is like this, go ahead and knock yourself out. But if it's not, you got a little old blueberry bush, just jam a shovel down in between, dead in the middle of it, and scoop one side off. That's a whole nother blueberry tree. It's gonna come out with its own root system and everything. Almost like separating a banana. What explains why two of yours just died, Catherine? Let me see. What was your question? What's up, So Good Gardner? Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Man, you the man, So Good. Uh, Let me see. You said, can a persimmon be grown in a pot? Yeah, that's why it died. No, absolutely not. Yeah, don't do that. That's a waste of money what you got right there. Persimmon need to go on the ground immediately. Even don't even try to put it in a bigger pot. Just get it out of that pot. They're usually sold in 1 to 5 gallon containers. Get rid of that. Say, I'm gonna try that with my blueberry. Yeah, just jam a shovel down in the middle of it and separate it. Simple. It's like your house plant. You taking a clump of the roots and it'll separate just perfectly. I live in Detroit. Will lemon plants still grow? Um, I stayed a baby plant. I stole a baby. You started a baby plant from seed. No, it will not. If you're talking about growing it outside, I'm gonna tell you two things where you may have some trouble. Who was that said that? Regina. You got two situations going on here. Number one, you cannot grow that lemon outdoors in Detroit, Michigan at all. Number two, if you grew that lemon from a seed that you spit into some soil, that seed is going to turn into something else. The chances of it turning identical to the fruit that you ate, that you spit out, is vast. That seed will not turn into the fruit that you ate. The chances of that is almost impossible. I need you to remember again, like I just stated, trees are just like human beings. Trees are just like human beings. That's why, you have a sibling that look like your great granddaddy or something. He don't look like the mama. He don't look like the daddy. He look like your great granddaddy, right? That's how this works. It's DNA. That seed has the genes and the DNA from ancient times, and something else is going to pop out of that seed. Something else that it cross-pollinated with over the last million years or so. That's just how it works. It's no different than us. You'll have a kid, and the kid kind of look like the daddy, kind of look like the mama. It got the mama nose, it got the daddy mouth, stuff like that. That means you created a whole new kind of human being. Trees are no different. For instance, if you crossbreed a lemon cross-pollinate a lemon with an orange, you're gonna come out with, well, that's what the Meyer lemon is. It's a crossbreed between a Satsuma orange and a lemon and a Eureka lemon. And now you get a Meyer lemon, which is a very sweet lemon. Now, I ain't talking about sugary sweet, but it's sweet. It ain't sour at all, with a hint of orange flavor to it. It became a whole new entity. And the only way that you're going to get that exact same tree, when you purchase a tree from the store, you want to know how they make sure it's a Chicago hardy fig tree? Exactly what I just did. That is an identical clone. No grafting, no nothing. That is that tree. Now, here's the sweet part about doing the chili dog method, cloning a tree. Y'all saw how much fruit he gave me this year, right? These right here will fruit next spring, just like that one will. These will grow, just like that one will. For northern climates, am I too late? Yes, for all climates. If you are not in central Florida to southern Florida and certain parts of California, I would not attempt this right now. It's just too late. The soonest that you will end up getting a root ball, right now is the middle of September, right? 30 days it takes to make those roots. So this happened, it was ready in 30 days. But I had other stuff to do, so I went off and did the camping trip. So that root ball that you saw was 5 weeks. The longer you let that sit in, the more those roots gonna grow. But at the same time, you don't want them to grow too far, because what you saw right there, they were at their maximum. Because now they're looking for nutrients, and there's no nutrients inside that bag. They need to be fed. So that's what you're looking for, okay? Let me see. Thank you, White River Seed. Thank you so much, Henry. Say one I did try to put to up pot and still died. Yep. Persimmons straight in the ground. I promise you. I literally have about 15 persimmon trees. And I've been growing persimmons for 15 years. Literally. Go back in my persimmon playlist and you'll see those videos almost 10, 15 years old. You want to know something about persimmons? Let me know. I've done everything trial and error, and I've done experiments. I've tried to grow them in containers and found out that root system, that taproot does this and strangles the main root. Strangles the trunk and the rest of the roots. And you will think your tree is alive, and it's just slowly dying. So what fruit do you suggest someone plant with their patio garden? I can't suggest that. What fruit do you like to eat? What fruit do you want to grow? I can't suggest what you like to eat. Because right now, what if I told you to grow squash? Or let's say a fruit tree. What if I told you to grow what is the name of that thing? That it smell like doo-doo. It looked like a peach, but it's not. It's a persimmon. You wouldn't want that. So maybe that's my favorite fruit, but it's disgusting to you. So you don't want that. Like a pawpaw. The pawpaw blooms smell like rotten meat. Do you want that on your patio? You have to do your research, and you have to use your common sense to say, what do I want to eat? What's some of my favorite fruits? You make a list of all your favorite fruits, and then your next part of research is saying, which one of these can I grow in a container on my patio with the sunlight and the weather that I have? No, don't put ginkgo biloba in a pot. My wife's is in a pot for a reason, because we started them when they was that little. They're going in the ground next year on Freedom Acres. They were supposed to be on Freedom Acres last year. They were supposed to be on Freedom Acres last year, but those stupid grow pots broke, and I got pissed off. So that's why they still here. Ginkgo bilobas get huge. What about strawberries or raspberries in a container? Yep, go for it. Okay, Kelly says, I have a question. I have a contender peach tree I would like to do the chili dog method on. Okay, what's your question? Do it. Matter of fact, on my playlist, I think I do it's a contender. I do a contender peach tree on there somewhere, and I do a Red Haven peach. And I do a Saturn peach, the little donut peach. I do all of those in that playlist. Would the branches be too small? Too small on what? Kelly, you just said something. Hold on. On a contender peach tree. It depends on which part are you trying to. You want to do this on, just say thumb, okay? At least a man's pinky. When you start talking about little, I want you to use your common sense real quick. When you talk about a little tiny branch that can bend real easy, remember this. You are going to put about 3 to 4 pounds of soil on that, in that bag. I want you to keep that. That part is the common sense. You're going to be putting anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds of soil on the branch. The real question is, can that branch hold it? That's going to tell you whether you should do that little branch or not, okay? And the smaller you try to do that, the more difficult it is going to be for you to try to do all that little tinkering around. Keep it simple. What about elderberries? You can do it with elderberries. You can do it with literally any fruit tree. How often should you repot a Myers lemon tree? I need to cut some. You got to look at your root system, and that will tell you everything. You can't just go doing stuff because you feel like doing it or because you think. You have to study your root system. Every blue moon, you got to take that thing, the whole thing out of the pot. Are your roots root bound? You know, you got to look at that. You got to pay attention to that. Do you use natural bug spray to prevent bugs from getting into fruits? No, I don't use anything. Bugs are going to get into fruit. Squirrels are going to steal nuts. There's nothing you can do about that. The only suggestion I have that I do, besides using all kind of weird sprays and natural juices and berries and bull crap, because nothing works. That's why I say plant as much food as you possibly can. So that way, the squirrels leave something for you. The deer leave something for you. The bugs leave something for you. And you got to get real slick with it when it comes to insects and infestation, because if you're squeamish, you're going to waste a lot of food. Me, if I see a hole in this piece of fruit, I'm going to cut that out until I don't see that hole no more, or that bug that was in it, or that worm that's in it. I'm going to cut that out, feed that to my chickens, and I'm going to eat the rest of that fruit. That's right. Mother Nature got to get her cut too. Everybody sprays a lot of weird stuff now. Everybody sprays a lot of weird stuff on their plants. I just advise against that, because if once you start spraying a bunch of junk on your trees and spraying a bunch of junk on your garden, chemicals and everything else, now comes the question of, why are you growing a garden? Are you growing a garden for fun? Are you growing a garden for pleasure? Are you growing a garden for a stress relief or meditation? Or are you growing a garden to get better quality food to go in your body so you don't get sick with all these diseases going on? Once you figure out why you're gardening, you will start asking yourself, is it worth me putting these chemicals on it? What do you do to prevent worms from getting in your peaches? Nothing. I just answered that. I don't do anything. I let the bugs and stuff pretty much have their way. I've been fighting that stuff. I fought infestation. I fought predators and everything for years. Nothing works. You understand? Nothing. The only way that you will prevail is to keep planting food constantly. Plant, you want one tree, get two. You want one avocado, get two. You want one thing of broccoli, get two. You got to plant. If you see an empty space in your yard, fill it up with food. Because that worm, imagine, they have a gestation period. They're only going to last so long. They're only going to eat so much. And once they're done, they're going to leave something for you. They're going to turn into butterflies and fly away, and they left you what's left. You have to pay attention to that. I know most people don't want a big garden. They want to keep it small and compact, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're thinking about keeping a very, very small, compact patio garden, I would suggest you purchase a very small greenhouse and keep your stuff inside of it. What that does is help prevent birds, raccoons, possums, bugs, and certain things. It just helps. That is the most natural way that I can think to fight off predator and infestation of insects. Other than that, I don't spray. I don't do that. I'm prove it to you. Have you noticed? I know y'all have seen my garden. You've seen a lot of it, right? I never got as much fruit as everybody else. Number one. My stuff never look as beautiful as everybody else's. My leaves aren't as green as everybody else's. You know, my trees aren't as big and beautiful and bountiful as everybody else's. It's a reason for that. I don't do all of that. I don't spray them. I don't put chemicals in the ground to feed them. None of that. And I'm gonna tell you why. I live this neighborhood right here. It's the same as my land. I take everything I've learned from here and I take it to my land. I live in an ecosystem that's so vast and full of life. And I get to watch that on a daily basis. How many people saw that animal video I released of just a couple nights of night shooting with my security cameras? All of those animals live right here at this house and on Freedom Acres. I live on a lake. If I fertilize these pear trees, Asian pear trees up here, with chemical fertilizers, the rain is going to come. The trees are going to eat the chemicals, okay? But the rain is going to come, and it's going to slowly wash all of those chemicals back down to the back of my house, right into the lake, where all the fish are, where all the geese are, where all the ducks are. And what eat the ducks, what eat the geese, what eat the fish? The snapping turtles, the eagles, the hawks. So if I go fishing in my lake, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to eat those chemicals that I put in that tree. It's like eating a spoonful of chemicals. It doesn't help the medicine go down. I hope you caught that. So all I'm doing is putting those chemicals in my body. And then I'm going to turn around and blame the system for me catching cancer or something. Some of this stuff you can fight yourself. You don't have to be part of the problem. I know it's not going to solve it 100% because this cars run up and down this street, dropping oil, antifreeze, and liquids, and it's going to wash down too. But I don't want to help that process. I will be able to leave this earth with saying, I didn't do that to the planet. It's just like voting right now. If you don't vote, you know, please vote, number one. But me, when I vote, you know what I can say? It's not my fault that this world is in peril. I did my part. So my conscience is clean. When I vote, my conscience will be clean. If all hell break loose, that ain't none of my fault. I did my part. So that's exactly what you got to do your part. Let's see. Say, I have True Green come out once a month and spray my yard and bushes. So should I tell them to spray my plum tree? You must didn't hear nothing I just said. What I'm trying to tell you, to each his own. To each his own. I'm not hurt. Listen to me. Maybe I got a different connection to this system that we all live in. Let me tell you this. The planet that you're walking on is alive. I don't know another way to dumb that down any dumber than that. This earth that we are walking on and living on, I consider it an animal. Period. You can keep spraying all the chemicals you want on it, all you want to. But this is how I think of that. To me, that is like giving your newborn child a perm. It's going to burn that child. That child will be scarred from it, from that hair perming. Will it live? Yes. Will it grow to be a smart young adult and everything? Yes. Will it always hold scars from your nonsense? Yes. The best way for a baby's hair to grow is let that baby's hair grow naturally. You know it's going to be a little ball over here, one whole part growing long on that side. Little baby got a shag for no reason, but the top is missing. Leave that baby alone. Don't put no weave in that baby hair. Don't give that baby no extensions, and don't give that baby no perm. That is the earth to me. See, I haven't always been that way. But the older I get, the more I think about everything we do to this planet. It's affecting me. I misread the message. Well, if I misread the message, I just gave a good message either way. Okay? If I misread it and it meant something completely different, I didn't say nothing wrong though, right? And I didn't dog nobody or nothing. Now you got me wanting to go back and read it. Let me see. Oh, no. Guess what? I didn't misread the message at all. I didn't misread that message at all. She said she's having True Green come out and spray her yard every week or every month. Should I have them stop spraying my plum tree? Did you hear? You misread it wrong. Sounds like she has True Green spraying her whole yard. If they just stop spraying the plum tree means absolutely nothing. Okay? That's like you. You ever been a kid and your mama said, I said go in there and clean the kitchen and wash the dishes, right? Okay, when your mama come in the kitchen, you ain't swept, you ain't took the trash out, you ain't mopped around, you ain't put the dishes away, you didn't dry the dishes, you gonna get a whooping. You know why? Because you just half-ass did it. I read the message right. If you're gonna spray the entire yard, that tree is gonna get it no matter what. So I just look at stuff, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one with the problem. Maybe it's me. I just look at stuff a lot different, man. You know what it is? when you start getting a little bit older, you start thinking about your mortality and your morality every single day. You also start thinking about it sometimes every waking moment, okay? Your heart race a little too fast. You think about your mortality. You drive a lot slower. You don't jump as high. And then your environment, you start thinking about, maybe I should start recycling, right? Because this planet is an animal. You know what's funny to me? What's funny to me is we talk about animals' rights, and we got all different kind of animal rights groups and activists. Everybody will go crazy if they see something happening to abused pet, abused animal like a seal or something, but then nobody cares about the planet. That drives me crazy. All of these other animals live on this ginormous animal. This planet is alive, and I can prove it. You want to know how I can prove that this planet, this whole globe is a life form? We live on it. It's our host. We are parasites. Everything we do has to come from this. We are parasites. We are fleas. We are ticks. We are mosquitoes to this planet. We're not even good parasites. We scavenge off of this. We are hyenas on this planet. This planet does not need us to exist. It existed way before we was even thought of. And once we wipe ourselves out, it's going to continue to be here. There was animals here before mankind. There were creatures here before mankind. This earth was here before any of us. And it will be again. It does not need us. We live on it. It does not live on us. It does not need us for absolutely anything. That's a life form. It has blood running through its veins. You know what it's called? Water. The blood running through the planet Earth's veins is water, right? We are like mosquitoes. What do? We drink up all the water. We land on it and then devour all of its nutrients like a mosquito. Why do we land on it and devour all of its nutrients? So we can nourish our children. Mosquito. You ever ask why do mosquitoes bite you? They're getting the blood because the blood has the most nutrients that it could possibly get to help incubate and feed its offspring. We are no different on top of this planet. We land on it and we mine it for gold, diamonds, jewels, gems, metals, and all kind of other precious things. And we use it for our own to help nurture our offspring with money. It's no different. Once you start understanding this earth is alive, you start doing stuff different. Would you hurt a puppy? Would you hurt a grown? Would you feed a grown dog just totally artificial food? It's made of nothing but chemicals. I need you to listen to that. If you have a puppy, if you have a dog, if everything on the back of this can says every word you couldn't pronounce it, calavalificamine, salamalamite, feeling all this, you like, what the hell is all this? Would you feed that to your child? Would you feed that to your dog that you love so much? Absolutely not, you wouldn't. I'm going to answer it for you. So why the hell would you put that same stuff in the ground that's supposed to feed this tree, which is supposed to feed you and feed your offspring? It doesn't make any sense to me. This planet doesn't need us. We need it. And we need all of the creatures on top of it, yet we always put all of the creatures in nature last. I got so many people that became beekeepers. The only reason I'm a beekeeper, I don't care about the honey like that. I am doing my part to help the bee population survive, because without that honeybee, me and you, we don't exist. Without that honeybee, there will never be enough food to be grown without that honeybee. There's too many people on this planet to pollinate enough food for us. That bee, that's her only job. You know how people say, man, you had one job. Really, she has one job. And here's the funny part. Not too many other creatures can do her job. She's like that employee. She's one of those employees that can't get fired. No matter how bad she do her job, you can't fire her. You can't fire that honeybee. It ain't too many creatures that can do what she do at the way she. Now everybody can do what she do, okay? Moths, bumblebees, carpenter bees, they pollinate too. But they can't do it like her. You ever had that employee to work with you, you really can't stand them, but damn is they good at their job. I had an employee one time, and everybody on my staff, I was the manager at this store, and everybody on my whole staff begged me to fire her. And I said, absolutely not. I know she cry a lot, and I know she get a little moody, and I know every blue moon she snap on a customer. I'll reprimand her, but I can't fire her. I can't. She's been here for almost 20 years, and she know my job better than I do. Who the hell I look like firing her when I gotta ask her how to do a certain thing? That's dumb. That's killing myself. That's shooting my own self in the foot. Right? It's certain employees like that honeybee can never be fired. They can be reprimanded. Can't fire them. You can't take them off their job because there's nobody else that can do that job like them. Right? I could have used marriage for that too. Any questions, y'all? And this is the reason why I said I'm going to put that other video up so we can cut to the chase. Yes, Sandra. You rarely see bees anymore. You want to know something? That's the only reason we started keeping bees. When me and Lady Lead had our very first homestead before this house, nothing was getting pollinated. We was out there with little paintbrushes doing stuff ourselves, and we realized, when the last time have we seen some honeybees since we was children in Ohio? I couldn't remember. We did research, started researching, and found out why we hadn't seen honeybees. Hadn't seen honeybees because they're on the decline and they're on the endangered species list. What? So we figured, well, we need pollination. We got this big old giant garden, damn near a farm. What are we gonna do? Keep bees, I guess. We had never even thought. Those words have never even left our mouths at the time. And we said, why not? And we started researching beekeeping, and here we are today. With about 25 gallons of honey just in our stock. Haven't even got the honey off the box this season, and ain't got no honey off of Freedom Makers. And I know good and well it's at least another 10 gallons back there, and it's about 15 gallons on Freedom Makers. I'm not even pressed. When will you have pear cuttings again? I'm not sure. The only cuttings I have right now and going to deal with is the elderberry and the angel trumpet. If you're not familiar with the angel trumpet plant, I'll show you videos on that too, so you can see what an angel trumpet flower is. It is a flower that brings all of the pollinators to your garden, and it smells incredible. And it's beautiful. Flower this big, long as my forearm. That's why they call it an angel trumpet, because it's literally that big around. The opening. and it's about this long. The bell opens up. It's like you standing a tuba upside down or a trumpet. Beautiful. Look up angel trumpet plant and it'll show you. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I need to take a beekeeping class to understand how to manage bees for pollination and land. We're going to be giving another beekeeping class in February. I didn't do it this year, but in next February we're going to start another beekeeping class. We've been doing it for years now. I'm going back and I'm just looking to see if I missed anything because I know I was long-winded with that. Okay, I was just looking for questions. And thank you, MDH. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm just now seeing that. The reason I'm saying all this, you guys, because I just take this a little bit more serious. It's serious to me. I mean it. You don't need land to keep bees. You could have listen, normally, look where my bees are. I got a hive right there, and normally I have a beehive sitting on my porch right there where I walk in and out of absolutely every day. So I got beehives at the garage door, beehive on the front porch, and a beehive at the back. They do not bother you. So you don't need land. You don't need a whole bunch of acres. They will not bother you. I walk right past these bees each and every single day. Okay, any other questions? Then I'm going to dip. So I'm the only one in my neighborhoods that doesn't spray the yard, but they all see me picking clover, plantain, dandelion, and found wild lettuce this year. I'm the only one too. I just don't, I don't want that on. Listen, I already got enough to stand in front of the Lord and explain. You know what I'm saying? I got enough to explain already. I don't need that added to the list, something that's so preventable. And I think, like I told you, the older I'm getting, the more I think about my mortality. I'm not going to be here a whole bunch longer. And pretty soon, I got a lot of stuff I'm going to have to answer for. It's things that you can prevent. You don't have to make bad decisions. And here's the reason why most people use chemicals. You use chemicals for, what's the word? Vanity. You don't use chemicals to get food. You use chemicals for vanity. That sounds crazy, don't it? Make perfect sense to me. You use chemicals on your trees, your plants, and your garden for vanity. And this is why. Because you want everybody to say, oh my God, your garden is beautiful. Oh my God, you got so much fruit on your tree. That's what it all boils down to, is vanity. It's the only reason. You're going to grow more fruit than you know what to do with. You're not even interested in eating half of the stuff you grow. And you just want everybody to say, wow, that was beautiful. Wow, that's a lot of fruit. Wow, that tree is big. But at the same time, it's all poison. Each apple is like a Sleeping Beauty. It's a poison apple. So I just want to leave here with a cleaner slate, like I said, I've done enough in my life I got to answer for. This is totally preventable. I don't have to do all this crazy stuff. I'm not trying to impress anybody else. I don't care about social media when it comes to that. Views, kill yourself for views. I see people doing dumb stuff like that all the time. Breaking their back, lying, stealing, cheating, dealing, all for views. We've lost our freaking way. I just want enough food to feed my family. I don't care about people saying, oh, he only got 20 apples. I don't care. They're mine. And they got worms in them. I don't care. They're mine. They're natural. Right? So, with that being said, you guys, I'm going to go ahead. Look, y'all can't tell, y'all can't see it, but these leaves are actually turning and facing the sun. It ain't the wind is helping it, but they were turning. It's about to storm. Y'all let me get out of here. I'll release that other video tomorrow on top of other things. I hope you got a little bit of me today. So with that being said, LF73, I love y'all and I'm out. All right, peace.